lies ever. People think that, if you do bad, you're gonna end up going to hell, and then you spend like 1,000 years in hell, and God gives you another chance. Nah, nigga. Mm-mm. I want you to look up and count the stars, which you don't get to see much of it because all of the chemicals that they push into the atmosphere. Then I want you to take account to the things that you can no longer physically grasp on Earth. And I know that might be a concept that's just gonna elude you, but there are things that you cannot physically hold on Earth, and it replicates into the metaphysical or into the non-physical realm. There are loved ones that you're not ever going to see again, and it's only because the act or the deed of yeah, okay, we're man, we got the power to do a lot of things, but just because you got the power to kill somebody doesn't mean you need to kill somebody. That's like a heinous crime. Yeah, yeah, we got sex down here and all of that stuff. You need to know discipline, because if you can't discipline yourself, then you won't exist in any heaven after this. Like, it's like this: once you're born, you exist. Yeah, fauna, germs, whatever. We follow a scientific path, but that's the earthly thing. Once your soul leaves your body, it kind of keeps the shell of this, not the shell, but the shape of the body, the shape of it. So you go on with a more defined shape. You don't gotta believe me. Like I said, me and this dude, we got into it, and he's like, "Yo, the wind is the wind," and I'm like, "Yeah, but some people don't believe in the wind. So even when it blows, they don't give a because it ain't real. It's a figment of your imagination, and a lot of this is imagination." Now, look, listen. You can paint bad things. You can make video games about bad things being done, and you can make movies about bad things, but you should never do bad things, because doing bad things is like erasing your soul. It ain't somebody keeping your soul. You want to keep believing what these Europeans told you in order to control you. That's so fucking crazy. Look, listen, I'm gonna say it like this. If you black and you in America, love what I'm about to say. Slavery never ended. It never ended. You just joined the workforce, which is another level of slavery. And we're only permitted the levels or access of freedom that this government allows. And to be real with you, we technically don't have as many rights as a white American, because it's so much shit set up to where your people are killing your people, and they basically get a recommendation for it, or like you're basically getting held up for it. Think about all of the rappers that talk about this shit and then they get glorified. They get glorified. Diddy just got 4 years for doing what he did. They basically slap on the wrist. I told everybody he going to rapper jail. You don't gotta pay me any attention. I'm just relaying a message from my ancestors who were here long before you and I were here. They tell me that I am them and they are me, and we are not alone, and that all because of that I don't ever have to worry about me being forever. And I don't do things because I feel like it's not the right way to live. So if I feel like it's not a right way to live, I'm not going to press that on somebody else. It's not because of my religion. It ain't because of my faith system. Look, if I don't want to be in a polyamorous relationship, it's because I don't feel like that's a right way to live. Like, I went online and you see all the girls like, oh, I'm ready to join a polyamorous relationship. You don't get me wrong, I'm not judging anybody. To each his own. If you can provide and take care of yourself, take care of yourself. But to me, certain things just don't qualify as living right by life. Like, and when I say right by life, I mean right by God, or right by the Most High, the Creator of all, which represents a family of powers that created everything. You got the mother, father, and the child, or the father, the mother, and the child. And space is just like that. It lays down just like that. To get in a whole segment about it would take a whole nother time for me to explain to you how they laid layers of lies over a truth that was base covered, that you can still see the truth. You can see the truth through all the lies. And what I don't get is how Black America just accepts the shit. It's like, when they broke the chains and it was like, you free now, nigga. And you like, I don't even know what that is. That's a new word. I don't know what that is. You gotta explain to me the definition of free. Well, shit. Since you can't figure out what it is, I'm gonna pay you pennies to work on my farm and give you land equivalent to the same pennies as you till and keep working on my land. You're still in slavery. Then the devise of how to keep their asses enslaved without being enslaved. We don't need to know that they still slave. And look, this ain't, you watch freaking Candyland. You watch the movie the Django, when he told that white man, you a slave too. Like, you gotta understand, like, these people enslave their own people. You become enslaved by the money and the documents and the paperwork. You gotta understand what this really is. You try to get out of it. It's like, yo, you ain't no way out of this. We gotta kill you to get you out of this. Like, Tell the truth. All of these mass shootings that just took off, that's covering up whatever took place in Mississippi, when they was like, yo, you know, what happened with Trey Reed? Like, lay that on the table for us. Let everybody know what happened. Did this man get lynched or not? Don't start. I mean, I know the world crazy, but don't start having your angry white man start shooting up random stuff to keep the truth away from the public, because that's what y'all doing. Like, it's like, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, your magic not stronger than mine. But anyway, look, you got superpowers, right? We all do. I got an omnipotent superpower. It's called God's veil, God's layer, God's vision, God's sight, God's wisdom. It's my superpower. It's like anything I ask the Most High for, I get it. It's like, with King Solomon, and I'm not saying physical things, because I'm never asking for anything that's technically physical. I ask for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that type of shit. Shit that can help you get physical things. It can, like, with enough knowledge, wisdom, and utilizing the understanding of that knowledge and wisdom, you can get money with this. This is called, picking up trades and different things like that. When you ask for the knowledge and wisdom, the Akashic records of the world, that's when it starts coming to you. God starts feeding that to you himself. And only when you're actually trying to live right by life, live alive, stop thinking that you some zombie or you some dead person trying to become alive again. No, nigga, you're already alive. You're killing yourself when you do bad things. You kill yourself only then. You can bring yourself back, but you got to live in atonement. That's what it's all about. Once you do the dumb shit, you got to live in atonement. That's what your atonement is. Hell is a lifetime cycles of being reincarnated. Sometimes at the bottom, sometimes at the top. Let's say, you ever seen a Got Milk commercial? Imagine dying and waking up in a Got Milk commercial where you got all the cookies you want in the world, but you ain't got no milk. You feel me? That's just how this goes. And guess what? Guess why you woke up in this world? Because you stole somebody's milk in a past life. So now you in a world where you ain't got no milk. Or because you did the wrong thing by life. It's innate principles that's standing up, it's stacking up. It's here for us to see it. You see it. Like, okay, let's take this. Life is created through what? Male and female actions. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of note, you got a male and you got a feminine. So this is telling you there's a mother and there's a father. That's an innate system to go by. A lot of us, we can't resist that super temptation to go against it. It's the rebellion in you. See, the whole thing is this. You're here to learn how to not be so rebellious. I'm not saying listen to everything that people tell you. I'm talking about listen to everything that your heart tells you, that your soul speaks. You're here to learn how to listen to God and not listen to yourself all the damn time. God is telling you how things are done, yet we like, nah, God, I want to do it this way. God told you to build a house this way. You built it that way and it fell in. If you would have built it the way God was showing you how to build it, the house would have still been standing. Instead, I got to go to the flea market and hear about mass shooting, Montgomery. Then you come home, you hear about another mass shooting. You hear about more and more shootings. You like, damn. Then you realize in Montgomery, it's like basically some gang related shit. And we sitting up here, look, listen. If you feel like you cool with random kids and halfway adults running through your city untrained with military grade weapons shooting up everything, kids getting shot, mamas getting shot, grandmamas getting shot, random bystanders, if you cool with that, go ahead and be cool with it. But look, listen, if you feel like something need to be done, sometimes you got to bring in an army to deal with that shit. You got to be like, bro, y'all got to stop that or we going to do what we got to do. Because obviously the community ain't doing enough to help the situation. You got some areas where the community is all they need. All they need is their tribe. They tribe handles it all. But in these other areas where it's too big and the tribal wars have gotten all the way out of hand, because that's what they are. They're OTL versus such and such, such and such, yada 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 versus them, this clique versus this clique. This is tribal wars getting out of hand because we got guns that take people out of existence on this physical plane, period. You're not getting to see your loved ones again. All because a motherfucker wanted to come out here and be ignorant and be stupid and start shooting at people. And sometimes you don't even hit the person that you aiming for. So what's the point? God wants you to chill the freak out, not me. God wants you to chill the freak out. It's just gonna keep getting worse. Hey, how long do you want to sit here and quote the Bible? Or how long do you want to sit here and be distracted before the ground? Look, I'm sorry, you guys will want to die. Y'all ready to die. Y'all like, I want to go meet God. You think you about to go somewhere and sit somewhere next to St. Paul and St. Peter because these Europeans done fucked your head up so much. Look, listen, come out of your own ass. Get your head out your ass. Get it out of there. It ain't a safe place for it to be. Bring it into reality. You feel me? We keep doing things that we shouldn't be down here doing. We're enlightened. We're intelligent. We're smart. You forget how to be humble. You forget how to be thankful. You forget how to be grateful for the experience of life. Like, and guess what? Somebody will stand in front of you with the truth. Like me and my cuz, we was talking about something, and I said, bro, the messed up part is it's so real, but Jesus will stand and walk and sit next to all of y'all, and none of y'all know who he is. You gonna see hey, you'll mess around and tell Jesus, hey, Jesus coming back. Back from where? If he already rose and he lives forever, if he living forever, then he ain't left. Your ass just don't see him. And that's why you keep thinking that he done left. It's like you just don't hear God. You don't feel God. And that's why you keep thinking, oh, God coming back. God ain't never left. God is here watching and observing through your eyes, seeing the dumb shit you doing. The conscience that's telling you don't do this. You shouldn't be doing this. Don't do it. It's that voice, that one voice in the back of your head that's speaking logical sense in existence. Don't do it. You like, oh, that's just the voice in my head. I'm still gonna do it. Boom, 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 boom. Now the voice in your head messing with you. See, you shouldn't have did it. Now you seeing visions and having dreams and shit, and your ass can't sleep at night. And then you on the way to jail. Cause if you black, look, I had to go listen. I had to look it up on my phone to be like, yo, how many white people, or how many crimes that are interracial crimes, where it's like white on black, do the white person actually go to jail versus the black man going to jail? Cause we know one thing: if a black man does something, he's going to jail. We're going to jail. But how many crimes go unpunished or go unchecked, or crimes that they just don't look into? They just say, well, you know what, we're going to let that one go. We ain't going to worry about that one. That's a white man kills black guy. It's like the movie A Time to Kill. And then when you get foolish and you go in there, your punishment is well just deserved because you just went in there and splat one of these white folks, like all out in court. You know what I'm saying? So the punishment that you get is welcome because you don't care at this moment. Like, everybody's so tired that they want to give up. Why you can't be driven enough to want to do something about it and make it better? Like, look, let's stop programming our kids to destroy each other. Like, what are we programming the kids to play war forever? Like, what the freak? These kids need to play build a country. They need to play build a nation. Let them learn how to play work together. The game called Work Together. You ain't heard of it? Yeah, you ain't heard of that game. Work together. Let's all work together. Like, we can work together and build a car. We can work together and build houses. We can work together and build nations. Build mega structures. And this ain't even just for me to be like, yo, I want y'all to work together so we can build space stations. Kind of partly, I want y'all to work together so we can help preserve this planet we live on. I want y'all to work together so we can help preserve our species instead of killing it. Like, I'll notice, like, I'll be on here saying some real stuff. Like, when I'm saying the realest things, I barely get any views. Like, I don't really care about the views because I want the person that this is actually going to help to see this. You need to face all of your uglies, and then you need to embrace God to help you get over all of your uglies. That's all it really is. Stop, stop acting like it and be it. Like, don't get mad at me. I'm a messenger, bro. I'm gonna go out here and try to live right regardless. Like, open doors for everybody, not even just like I do what royalty should do. See, I understood and I grasped this concept out of kingship. There is no one king in the nation. The nation itself is the king. You feel me? The one appointed to be king is the caretaker of that nation and of that kingdom. You dig? Which means the representation of it. We all are the representation of the king. We are the king. Why would you desecrate and destroy your own kingdom? What's your reason? What's your reason? Mm. You go back to one of my videos, like maybe 5, 10 years ago, I said America should be held in high treason. But all men of power right now in this moment should be held in high treason. If you watched and let it happen, you're just as guilty as the person that drew the sword and killed the king and took the kingdom by force. It's gonna be over everybody's head. But I just wanted to go live and vent. You feel me? I just wanted to vent real quick. That's all it really was. It was me venting. Cause the whole thing made me feel some type of way. I feel like If I was God, I would shake this mug for 48 hours to get your attention, just to get you to fear me again. But you notice how real it is? We went from fear the Lord to love the Lord and know the Lord, because once once I got you to do so much heinous shit, so many awful, sinful atrocities against your own kind, your own people, because that's all we are, then I wanted you to love me. You ever listen to the song Maybe Man? It's a verse in there. It's like at the end of the song, my boy says it so perfectly. He's like, I wish I was God. I'd never slip up. And if I did, well, so fucking what? I could be cruel and break all your stuff. Yeah, I'd be loved no matter what. That's what he feels God is. God is a force that's so compassionate but destructive at the same time, that I can come through and break all your shit. You gonna got them drop to your knees and say, thank you, God, and still love me. You dig? That's why. And you probably like, wow, what you mean? Watch this whole video. And you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Go back and watch the video from the beginning, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Shout out to everybody that actually gets it. Because most of my stuff are giant parables. Like, you go back to watch the video, I promise you, if you pay attention, it's gonna be like going back to read the Bible. You're gonna be like, damn, this man got parables off in this. Oh God, this man is walking on water on my forehead. Yes, I am. Look, your teachers were not of your own blood. Who made up your schools? Who wrote your rules? Who delivered your laws? Actually, don't look. I'm black. You know what I was bred to do? I was bred to love this country. I was bred to protect my brethren. I was bred to protect my brethren, whether my brethren are white or black. I was bred to believe that as an American, we were fellow Americans. So technically, to some of us that's brought up like me, sometimes when they be like white or black, we what? Hey, yeah, white guy. Oh, yeah, yeah, black guy. I think we're American. Our mind conflicts nowadays, and it has to continue to be programmed by an upper scale that does it using social media. They can't do it effectively through the news anymore. You can't get us through the news anymore. You gotta social media, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna go back to September 23rd. How they had everybody just believing, it's a rapture. Is if you are God and you are able to say, well, this is the day God decides to come back. Oh, ye of little faith. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom. You're fired. Look, listen. You remember when Donald Trump went on and he did his speech, and everybody thought Donald Trump was dead, and they was like, we thought you were dead. And he's like, don't believe everything you hear. Fake news, you know. And one of the key things that got me when he said it, because I was reading about it, and I was reading about the beast, a great beast that should deceive the world. I was reading about that. Like, I read, most people don't think, and I wasn't necessarily reading, I was meditating on it. The great beast that should deceive the world. And I remember this came directly from Donald Trump's mouth. Not even just his mouth. It was a couple other people that labeled AI is a beast. AI is a beast. It's a beast. It'll trick the fuck out you. I'm serious. It'll make you think you seeing yourself actually online in a tutu dancing. And it get real. It get vivid. I'm serious. Serious. AI, hey, AI could take the president and put the president in a sex video, bro. You think I'm playing, bro? AI can put you places you never went, bro. AI can have your ass doing things you never did, bro. You get what I'm saying? I think about it like this. I'm going to reference another hot movie. The movie I'm referencing ain't even a movie. It's a series. The First 100. You remember the First 100? If you watch the First 100, you go to the beginning. They had just innovated with AI, artificial technology, and the artificial technology was in agreement with a lot of scientists and a lot of big heads. Most scientists, which if y'all don't really know, most scientists don't believe in overpopulation. They believe in, what was it, forward progression of a species. It means if you're meant to be here like that, then you're meant to be here like that, then we should be thinking like ants and colonizing the solar system, because we're actually growing at a rate to where it's nothing. If we wanted to colonize and figure out how to subdue the our inner planetary alignment, we can do that. We can do that. We can grow to do that. Like, It's levels to this shit. But you'll be afraid of the levels if you keep listening to the false teachers that we've been following. And when I say the false teachers, I mean the times. Like they're not just necessarily the times. I mean, what's the best way to describe this? Like I said, the establishment of the European continent. Like how most of these people, most white people are programmed, and they'll see it and be like, "Yo, we should stay in a predominantly white neighborhood. That way, we keep the traditional values of the European colony." And it's not that we're racist. We're just keeping our cultural values of the European tradition. As if you had no cultural values before you came here. If you want to keep that, then you need to go back to your Dutch settlements, because America never really was about that. When you came over to America, it was already some other shit going on. So if you really want to keep in hold of your cultural stuff, everybody need to be figuring out where they originally came from and trying to figure out if they can go back, or if they can re-innovate or reinsert themselves into their natural ecosystem. If you can't figure out where you came from beyond this continent, that means you technically came from this continent. So multiple factors add in, and different documents that are surfacing now, and different tablets, and temples that are being found. But there are temples over here that are in likeness to the temples in Egypt that they won't even tell you about that. The Black Pyramid in Alaska, that ain't nothing, bro. It's like an Apsu type of temple within the. And look, I've never been there, but I promise you, like if you do your research, you're gonna find out it's a Apsu type temple in the Grand Canyon, like within the Grand Canyon. And I know you might be like, he's just spitting that da 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 da. No. Ancestors within my Akashic line have told me things. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the things they done said is coming to pass, and a lot of the things they done said are just true. It just resonates. It's truth, literally. It's like, yo, so who you communicating with? Spirits. Being honest, it's very easy to hear their voices. Like I told you, this is not. There's no hell below this life of living. This is, in fact, that. It's reality on top of hell, which means, like most people would think, or most people kind of get the feeling that when you die, after you do something bad, you're reincarnated here into another state until you get it right. You're gonna be born over and over again with your memory process wiped until you get it right, until you figure out how to live. That in its own is your blessing of atonement. It's like, yo, you get a chance to atone, because we're all here learning to be systems. And if you don't know what a system is, you're learning to become the energy capable of creating life and passing it on in the most major way. Too much being said. Yeah, yeah. But play it back and you'll understand your liking to a sun, or a heavenly body, a planet, a star system, galaxies. Like, yeah, you would be like, oh, well, they're violent, but it's not about that. This is a realm of order from chaos, order and structure. In order to keep order and structure, you have to work on it. You have to keep developing order and structure. That means, look, nobody wants to be reborn into a complete hellscape just to have to build it up again. I think we'd all agree that once you found out, or you came to that term of what it really is going on, you would want to do something innovative to make sure next time around, or any time around, anybody coming through the portal of birth gets to have the best experience. Like, I'm probably so far special that I'm like, yo, I want everybody to have an opportunity to live great beyond the other shit. Like, I want people to be able to learn, don't do this. Like, you read the book and you be like, okay, that's obviously bad. Let's try not to enslave an entire race of people. Okay, all right, this is obviously evil. Let's try not to eradicate an entire species of people. Okay, all right, this is obviously evil. Let's not sit ourselves atop a pedestal and start calling ourselves God. Like, that's obviously evil. We're going against the creation of all things, the creator of all things, when we do things like this. Why don't we step into our abilities and our powers and our God-given, accents of life? You feel me? We can't do that. Like, all I really want to do is sing, but obviously God got other plans for me. And, I'm just going with it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I remember, what was it? When I was like 21, I met a lady. She was like, Pastor Fuller. And I was like, Shawty, I'm not nobody's pastor. I don't even go to church. She said, Some of God's best warriors are not in the church. She said, you know, Jesus didn't go to church. Jesus was in the wilderness. She said it like that. You know, Jesus was in the wilderness. And I had to do research to figure out what she was talking about when she said Jesus was in the wilderness. Because it's this one dude that's got a song called What If Jesus Was Homeless? And I'm like, yo, it ain't no what if to it. Jesus literally was homeless. He tells people this in the book of Matthew. He lets you know that he is like the birds of the field. He not saying that in reference because he said I'm human, and I'm like, no, he's telling you he has nowhere to go to lay his head, so you follow him of your own accord, give up all your worldly possessions and sleep in the wilderness, because that's what Christ did. Christ was in the wilderness. People really overlook the fact that Christ preached to the less fortunate. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a bunch of rich people out there. You know, people would come, all types of people, Pharisees would come see him preach. But if you paid attention, Christ was in the hood. He was in the ghettos. He was in the places where a lot of rich stuff wasn't found. He was in a place where hope was the richest thing you could ever possess in your life. Because if you got faith and you got hope, can't nobody beat you and tell you that God don't love you. Can't nobody take anything from you that you already possess in everlasting flavor, style. The greatness that's in you can't be taken away. You can think that it can be taken away. Somebody can trick you and make you think that you belong to them, but you don't belong to them. You belong to God. You belong to yourself. This life is yours to experience. But we keep letting other people determine the narrative. We like, come on, bro. They're delegating us very, very smoothly. Why, by the way, the control is like off the Richter scale of how they can do it. Like panic button. Yeah, it's a lynching in Mississippi. Black man gets hung. Panic button. Mass shooting. Panic button. Charlie Kirk. Panic button. Another mass shooting. This is what, just look, listen, put everything out except for what actually took place in Mississippi. Because if we know it's a lynching, we don't know what their reaction's gonna be. I'm gonna be honest. Our first reaction would be to seek justice via the native justice system. I promise you that. Some of us might even march. If you was really feeling it, you stand up so much that your ass would be trying to kick down the doors to the White House. Don't let me start a rebellion, okay? Because me, myself, I come to make peace. I come to see peace. I don't come to see war and destruction. I come to watch the flowers bloom and wait on the fruit to grow. You feel me? I come to see the yolk evenly meshed, if so to speak. So you need to get your shit together. So while I ain't judging, God is. And you're looking bad. You're looking very, very bad as a species of people. I'm like, yo, I read a book, or, you know, I read into like one of my African ancestors, you know, Aligba. We'll just say Eshu right now, because I don't want to, and I don't want to get into it with the E5 people that be like Aligba and Aligwa. They're two different characters. Da 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 da. This face is that face. This face is that face. I'm pretty sure Aligwa would agree, nigga. If I'm me, I'm me. Good day or bad day, you see a different side. One's inside, one's outside. However you want to explain it. The whole point is, I'm gonna go back to a story that I heard from a young lady, because at one point I can't necessarily get into the super about it. Just know that right here is a word tattooed in Hebrew, so nobody gets the code. You feel me? This word in Hebrew, if I get close enough to you, says Orisha. You did? Now look, you don't know what I'm getting at. You gonna be like, ah, man, you use witchcraft and da da da. Shut your ass up, cause I'm this. So if I'm this, I'm gonna research everything about this. I'm gonna research the skin. I'm gonna research origin. I'm gonna research the cradles of civilization. I'm gonna research the Anunnaki. I'm gonna research Enki and Enlil. I'm gonna research Yahweh. I'm gonna research everything until I bust back to Yoruba, one of the first established forms of what you would call religion, or, you know, shamanhood, practice of shamanhood. And these Yoruban stories, these Orishan stories, the stories of your ancestors, like, In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. That's only Dumare, bro. I promise y'all that's only Dumare. Like these these people found your documents, burnt your libraries, put a book together off of what they wanted to put a book together, and then gave it back to you. And now they convinced the world that, oh, this is solid, this is sound. Yeah, yeah, Jesus, Emmanuel, that's him. Right there, that's your savior. That's who you're waiting on. No, you waiting on yourself to wake up and stop going for the bullshit. I'm not saying raise hell on these folks. I'm saying bring the divinity out of you to show it on the surface, so that power can purge the rest of this bullshit we going through. You feel me? You feel me? And I mean, it resonates in us all because at the end of the day, we're all black. Some of us have told white lies against each other. I'm just, yeah, nigga, you, the white person that just scrolls this and was like, did he just say we're all black? Yes, nigga, you're a color of wheat. You're literally this, but you're a lighter color. You're like diluted water, watered down brandy. Like we just took a little bit of melanin out of you. It didn't, we ain't do shit. You evolved that way. Most people don't believe in evolution, but it takes place on a different level. The same plants might reside on different coasts, but there are different variations of that plant. Like you might have a bamba tree over here, but or you might have a bamba tree in Africa, but over here it would be some sort of sycamore tree. We would call it something else. You might have a rose in Africa is still a rose over here. It might look different. The bristles might be different. The little barbs on it might be different. It's like different variations. If a cat or a lion was seen over here, it'd be a different type of lion. It'd be an American mountain lion. It wouldn't have its mane on it. Like it's things that change up due to ecosystem. You feel me? Our diets, what we eat, changes up our genetic makeup. It changes the structure of our DNA. Most of y'all gonna be like, what is he talking about? I don't know, scientific, halfway, the essence of life. Most people would be like, yo, you can't mix science with religion. Says who? Like we're so human, we always trying to tell everybody else what the freak to do, how to do it. Like I told you, I live by the innate laws of what I see God has laid out. I see animals go towards shelter. I see animals that hunt each other. I see, animals that don't hunt anything. I see animals that eat vegetation. I see animals that don't eat anything. I see flowers. I see us at the end of the day is intelligent beings capable of understanding it all and squandering it away because we want to be stupid. It ain't even animalistic. It's not human nature. It's not human nature to want to kill each other off like that. Like it's a reason why they call it crimes of Cain and Abel, because it was a crime to begin with. Whether it was Adapo and Kania or whoever, if you want to go back to the Enuma Elish and different tablets or different papyruses, the names are going to be different. The story's going to be the same. Brother felt jealous over this brother. Brother knocks him over the head and then mourns for his brother because he didn't know his brother was going to not get up. After that, it's just like resentment the whole way, just the whole way of messing up. And if you are really up on your knowledge game, you would actually go read some of them translated texts. You'll go read even Zechariah Ascensions, the 12 planets. Hey, if I was you, I would take a look at Billy Carson's books. I would actually take a look at them books and then see. Like, I'm not saying change up your whole origin of faith. I'm saying change up your actions as a people. You feel me? Change that shit up, because you might think that you're just hurting yourself, but I want you to think about it like this. You matter to somebody. So when you cut yourself, you cutting somebody else. You feel me? You cutting that person you matter to. So when you hurt yourself, you hurting God, because we all matter to God. You don't understand how real it is. Like, you would think that a roach don't matter, but I promise you it matter. It matter to God. It's animals out here. You be like, why does animal exist? Because God wanted them to exist. God wanted this animal, wanted this mosquito to be here. It's why. You might think of it as pesky, not to God. It might seem minuscule to you, but it's miraculous and beautiful to God. It's something so small you can't even see it. It's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Microscopic. The word microscopic is infinitely amazing to me. And just so it doesn't sound like I'm regurgitating things that you've heard or whatever, and you'd be like, yada, 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 yada. I'm just going to tell you the truth. The teachers are all around you. And men will argue about things when they're coming to the same conclusion. It's like arguing over whether the name was Yahweh or Allah. You get it? I'm pretty sure it's the same character. You did? When we put it into a pretext. And if you start telling me it's not, that Yahweh was somebody else, then we starting to admit the realm of other gods. So then it's more like Yahweh and Allah were kinsmen. Don't shoot me. Shoot yourself for not understanding what the hell they did to you. Like don't come at me. Cause I'm in my feelings about the mass shootings that I feel like shouldn't be happening. Why are you so fucking angry? Like I could see why we so angry, why black folks are angry. You a slave. You got the worst end of the shit stick. Like nobody wants to be the master, but you definitely don't want to be known as the slave. Like yo, I can't even. Like yo, we used to be like, yo, black people come from kings, but you can't completely step into it because of slavery. We still gotta, yeah, my people gotta bite the fact that we was a slave and they put their foot on our neck and they never took it off. And it's enough to be like, yo, this shit just make you want to slap the shit out of somebody every day you wake up. But you gotta be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be a good old person. I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna love the person next to me. I'm gonna love this person that did this to me. Instead of cursing and cursing these people, I'm gonna bless these people. That's how special we are. But that shit goes so hard. That's what make me believe that we the chosen people. Cause we sit here and we innately turn the other cheek on some Jesus shit. Y'all rest on that. Like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all, man. Stay up. Look, if we all watching and protecting each other, how anything bad gonna touch us?